So today, we're playing the Pyro, and we got a super fun game lined up, with some awesome offering ball trades, crafting up a serpent staff build, adding some dragons, and maybe activating multiple lamps on our staff for tons of damage too. But hey, check it out and let me know what you think of it. Okay, let's go into some rank games with the PYROMANCER and seeing what we can do today. So we're going to be starting off with the offering ball. We do get a hammer start with a piggy bank as well. So we could take the hammer for now, crack open some piggy banks and offer them up into our offering ball, which I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to be grabbing everything we can grab on sale, but yeah, this is pretty much going to be our first runs. Now we're not going to be offering up anything into our offering ball. We're just going to be cracking open a piggy bank and offering up the coins and potentially our hammer in the next shop as well. But can we deal with this ranger who does have the binary basket and some healing herbs? They're going to have a ton of healing. They're going to be inflicting some blinds. And our hammer is running out of stamina since it does use up quite a lot. But smashing. Just pausing the video here very quickly just to ask you to subscribe. It really helps me out. Thanks. Now let's get back to the video. Not too bad. Hammer doing big old damage. So call me crazy, we could be offering up quite a bit. We could offer up a bunch of kinds, our healing herbs, our dagger and our hammer, all into one shop. Because I'm going to be wanting to grab this whetstone, I'm going to be wanting to grab this wooden sword, and I'm going to grab a shiny shell as well, and I will roll once. I'm also going to reserve the storage, but yeah, I'm going to be offering up all this stuff. See what sort of crazy value we can get from our offering ball. Hoping to get some amethyst steel, most of all. But here we are going to begin a berserker with a shovel, with a bag of stones as well. They're going to have that battle rage with some lifesteal. But can our hammer and our dagger smash down this big old berserker? So far not looking too bad, except we got a few misses with the blind stacked up. Unfortunately, your hammer is only 65% accuracy. But still, we managed to pull ahead. So what do we get? Holy moly, we got amethyst steel, a mana orb, and an amulet of energy. Okay, so I'm going to first of all grab storage. We probably actually didn't need that. I do want to grab this peasant's flask. But I'm going to have to roll because I do want to craft up a freaking magic staff. I'm also going to be going for a serpent staff, so I'm going to keep this peasant's flask. Which, for this runs, I'm going to be selling these boots and a flame. I'm going to be taking this broom because I do want to craft it up pretty much immediately. But I did kind of want to craft up a falcon blade type situation, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to. So we could end up offering up our shiny shells, our wooden sword, our lump of coal. This is worth 3 golds, 5 golds, 7 golds, about 9 gold worth of items. And yeah, I think I'm going to be doing that. So it shouldn't be too bad this round because we're going to get the DPS on our whetstone, on our broom, along with our wooden sword. And yeah, we will be crafting up a serpent staff of all things. But hey, can we deal with this PYROMANCER, who does have a shiny shell for a lot of healing and some power stacking? And his small dagger is going to have a tiny bit of scaling. And we are running out of stamina. Unfortunately. Because if you know banana, and with double weapons, yeah, we're going to end up falling short, unfortunately. But hey, what we're going to get? We got ourselves a flutes, a blueberries for our magic staff as well. Which is pretty darn smashing. Now, since we do have an amulet of energy, we could go mana mastery and try to go for a big mana buff bomb. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. It's also going to be really beneficial for our magic staff right now. I'm actually going to grab more storage. I'm going to grab another whetstone. I'm going to offer up these whetstones since they're both on sale. Now the flute I'm kind of interested in keeping, but we might offer that up too. And a piggy bank on sale I will definitely be grabbing for now as well. But hey, I will be moving on. So we're going to be crafting up that serpent staff. And we have some source of mana generation with a mana mastery and a set of blueberries. Now since we have our amulet of energy targeting our mana mastery, it does mean we can get our mana a little bit sooner, which is not going to be too bad. Allowing our magic staff to scale up pretty darn fast. So all in all, this should be pretty decent. Our opponent is also dealing a lot of damage to us, but we managed to barely pull ahead. So not too bad. Now what the hell are we going to get? Okay, we got ourselves an amulet of wilds and a corrupted crystal. Now we could keep these, place them in our armor, and I think that's exactly what we're going to do. So first of all, I'm going to be taking this fanny back. And unfortunately, I will be taking another corrupted crystal. So a lot of gold spent, pretty low tempo item, and I'm going to roll. Now another mana orb with a hunger blade is genuinely insane. But unfortunately, we'll have to move on. So we should be in a better spot with our Serpent Staff. And with our Amulet Wilds, we do stack up a little bit of spikes as well. So honestly, we're kind of wanting to go for a lamp type builds, especially with that Serpent Staff. Because the more damage we deal with the Serpent Staff, the more poison we do inflict. So all in all, this is going to be pretty darn awesome. And smashing even. Okay, we got 12 golds. We're going to be selling a flame to grab a Hunger Blade and a Mana Orb. And I'm going to reserve this to the blueberries and the slider bag, and it will be moving on once again. Now, unfortunately, we're not offering up anything into our offering bowl, but I have some pretty darn good items that I do want to keep really bad. But I do want to start grabbing more amulets of steel, amulets of wilds, amulets of energy from our offering bowl. But hey, when you get a Mana Thirst Serpent Staff, that's going to be a pretty darn awesome combo. Stacking up a bunch of mana and dealing a ton of poison damage. So definitely not too bad. And speaking of not too bad, our bird on sale, I'm going to have to grab. Let's grab our tiny bit of storage, add in our set of blueberries, and roll. And an eye lamp on sale for 4. You know what? I will be grabbing 2. Now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to check group by pricing before we do move on. And the bird is worth about 8 gold. So I'm not too unhappy about just offering up the bird by itself. Because all we want is amulets, which are worth about 6 golds. And since we're going to be offering up the birds, we're going to get 1 flame back. So it's going to be roughly around the price of an amulet. So if we get more amulets of energy, we can consistently scale up our Serpent Staff much easier. Our opponent does have a ton of healing, but we are inflicting a lot of poison and smashing. Now, what are we going to get? We got ourselves an armor, which is not bad with an amulet steel. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get any stones, which is what I was really hoping for. But hey, if we're going to go for lamp type builds, we're probably going to go for that Dragon's Nest, because that's going to give us 2 luck, 4 mana, and we're going to be getting some dragons to help us get those buffs. And we did get a Sapphire Egg, which does give us mana to start, but it will eventually use up some mana, but I think we are going to grab it. Unfortunately, I'm going to sell 2 flames. That is a vampiric armor as well, which we can actually use. And I think we're probably going to grab that as well. But hey, this should be much, much better. And yeah, I'm going to be moving on. So unfortunately, we're still not offering up anything into our offering bowl. Super unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now with our amulets of energy as well, our Sapphire Egg, once it hatches, is going to be using up a lot of mana. But since we do have this, we should be able to get a lot of mana back. So in all, it should be pretty decent. Now speaking of amulets, hell yeah, amulets of alchemy, not so great. If we had a lot of stones compulsions, I would definitely be more happy about. But this round, I'm going to be crafting up that vampiric armor. And eventually, I do want to offer up this amulets. I do want to offer up this amulets of alchemy. But I'm going to be moving on. As well, this Mana Dragon is going to be giving us some block as well. It's going to be using up our mana to give us some random buffs. So no, this should be pretty decent. We should be able to stack up a little bit of power. And yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. This is looking extremely awesome. And we got our vampiric armor, which is pretty darn smashing. Now out of all these options, we got some pretty bad ones. We got Torn Burst, which does stun our opponents for 0.3 seconds. And it could help us get some spikes. But other than that, it's not going to be that great. And I only really want the spikes to activate our lamp. Stone is really not going to be that great. We do have blocks, so we do resist a lot of crits with it. Solaris is only for cleansing those debuffs, which again is not going to be worth it. Then we got more stats for just more weapon damage. I think at this point, I'm probably just going to grab more stats. Although Torn Burst is on sale, but it is quite slow. I'm just going to take more stats for now. Now I'm going to take this eye lamp. I'm going to take this pair of gloves. Now I know Lightsaber is on sale. We could go for Dark Saber Serpent Staff instead of a Mana Thirst. But I'm going to keep it this way for now. Unfortunately, Amethyst Egg also inflicts some debuffs, but that's not the dragon I'm going to be looking for. There's our first lamp. That is going to be smashing. Some armors as well. But I'm going to roll it once. And I was looking for a bag so we can start offering up some things. But unfortunately, since we got a protective little purse, yeah, we're kind of having to move on. Now, Wood Protector on sale for 6. I might reserve as well because, again, we do want to be offering up quite a bit in our offering bowl. But for 2 rounds in a row, we only got 2 protective little purses, which is a great bag, but with the Dragon's Nest, we need a lot of storage. especially since we're rocking armor with a Serpent Staff and a Mana Thirst. That is a lot of storage. However, our opponent is inflicting a ton of poison on us, which is quite scary, and we barely survived. Holy moly. That was kind of insane. For now, I'm going to grab Jin's Lamp. Unfortunately, I'm going to sell our piggy bank to grab a Wuppertinger and roll once. Another Mana Dragon, which I kind of want to grab. A Flute on sale, and we finally got ourselves a freaking bit of storage. Unfortunately, I'm going to sell the eye lamp so we can grab ourselves this fanny back, increasing the speed of our Serpent Staff, and our amulets, and our Vampiric Armor as well. We put in our gloves to increase the speed of our Serpent Staff. And yeah, we'll be moving on once again. So unfortunately, we do need to find some Emerald Dragons so we can get a bit more luck at the start, because we should be able to get enough spikes to activate our lamp. And since we have Vampiric Armor, we should be able to get some block. Triggering that lamp should be relatively easy on that Serpent Staff. And definitely not too bad with a 66 DPS overall. Being a Serpent Staff, Poison, Mana Thirst, Spikes, not too bad. As for heals, not a whole lot of healing with 94. With a tiny bit of max health gains. And then with block, we managed to get 407 block. Vampiric Armor being crazy good for us. And then a Corrupted Crystals. Sapphire Whelp not doing too much, but our Amethyst Steel giving us a ton of Empower. So yeah, I do believe we can make this a lot stronger, so we are going to continue on. Now let's take both these for now, let's roll again, and we finally got ourselves big old storage. But yeah, unfortunately, I kind of wanted to hatch up another egg. Now I'm going to sell Flame. We probably should take that Glowing Crown since it is on sale, but I'm going to leave for now. Again, I'm going to move on as we hatch up another Sapphire Whelp. But hey, we should be in a pretty good spot. We should be able to deal a ton of damage. We should be able to get a ton of block. Stack up a good bit of power. Our opponent is inflicting a lot of blind on us. But our Mana Thirst can it keep us ahead? Unfortunately, no, our opponent just resurrected with that Phoenix barely keeping him ahead. Now the thing is, that is another Jin's Lamp, which is what I really want. And we're still not offering up anything into our offering bowl. So for this round, I'm going to grab another Jin's Lamp, but I'm going to be offering up our Amethyst of Alchemy with our flutes. And yeah, I'm going to keep these items for now. I'm not going to put in our Jin's Lamp for now. But we are going to move on. Now we're going to be using up a ton of mana with 2 Sapphire Whelps. We should be able to get some block from it. We should be able to stack up our power. And we should be able to make use of that power on our dragons, our Mana Thirst, and our Serpent Staff. Oh no, it shouldn't be too bad. However, we are slightly falling behind right now. Unfortunately. But hey, we got ourselves a Mana Orb, which is amazing. With a Box of Riches. However, I'm going to grab this Draconic Orb. I'm going to grab this cap. I'm going to roll once. And that is the dragon I've been looking for. So we start off with a bit of luck. I'm also going to grab this bit of storage though, so we can actually free up a bit of space. I'm going to be offering up that Wuppertinger with a cap, with a Draconic Orb. I'm going to sell our Box of Riches to grab this Protective Little Purse. I'm going to take out a set of blueberries and add in our Jin's Lamp in this position. So yeah, all in all, I'm going to be moving on. And once we get our Emerald Egg, we should be able to start off with 3 more luck. We do start off with pretty much enough mana, and then all we need is our spikes, which comes from our Amethyst of Wells. But hey, can we keep ahead of this Hammer Dagger build? They're going to have tons of healing, they're going to be inflicting a ton of debuffs. And unfortunately, no, we're sadly losing a lot of our lives. But holy moly, did we get extremely nuts item with that Amulet of Energy. Now, unfortunately, we could keep the Impractical Large Greatsword. We do stack up a lots of Empower. But I'm going to be selling that, because I do want to grab this Dragon Egg. I'm going to roll for now. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to grab a bit more storage, and I'm going to roll again. Now, third Jin's Lamps is exactly what I'm going to be looking for. But hey, instead of using our Amulet of Energy on our Mana Mastery, we're actually going to be targeting our Amulet of Wilds. That way we can stack up our spikes a little bit faster. And for this round, we're going to be offering up the Divine Potion with that Box of Riches. And yeah, we will be moving on with this for now. So we should be in a pretty darn awesome spot with 2 Amulets of Energy. It means we should be able to stack up lots of buffs. And we should be able to proc nearly both our Jin's Lamps. Once we get our Amulet of Wilds, stacked up our spikes. And actually, can we deal a ton of damage right now? So far, that Serpent Staff is dealing a ton of damage, inflicting a ton of poison. But our opponent does have a ton of healing. And it's looking super close, but smashing. This Serpent Staff dealing 67 DPS, which is not too bad. Now, holy moly, did we get even more nuts with a second Amethyst Steel. So definitely not going to be too bad. We're going to be taking a Jin's Lamp. We're going to be rolling. We're going to take that protective little purse. And we're going to keep rolling for now. Now, Unstable Recombobulator on sale for 3 with a Dragon Egg on sale for 5 as well. That is literally going to be too nuts to pass up. But hey, I'm going to sell you. I'm going to sell Flame so we can grab ourselves this freaking stamina sack because I do want to add this in for now. But I did move our whole setup around, so we have our Jin's Lamps in this position. We have our Dragons in here. We moved our armor up top so we can put in our Mana Orb in here and actually trigger a lot of value on our whole setup right now. So I'm going to be saving these for now. And yeah, we'll be moving on. Now we should be actually putting in our flames. And yeah, I'm going to be moving on. So unfortunately, we didn't get any big strong stones combustions, but we still get 7 power off the bat, increase our weapon damage, and with our Vampiric Armor, with our Sapphire Dragons, we should be able to stack up a little bit more in power. However, that's a double axe, it's going to be dealing a ton of damage, but not too bad. This Serpent Staff, dealing a ton of damage. 82 DPS. Not too bad for sure. Now we're going to grab you, we're going to grab you, we're going to roll. And you know what, I'm going to grab this bit of storage as well. Let's roll one more time. And we could grab this Poison Flask, but honestly, this is our final round to offer up some things. So I'm not going to be reserving it, I'm going to be using our Unstable Recombobulator with our Amethyst Egg. So I will be moving on once again. Now, is this going to be good enough to take on a Dark Lantern, Dark Saber, with a Gingerbread Jerry, and an Ice Armor? They're going to be inflicting a lot of debuffs, slowing us down quite a bit. They do get their invulnerability with that King's Crown as well, or Glowing Crown. So they're going to have a lot of invulnerability. They're going to be stacking up a lot of life with Gingerbread Jerry. They're going to be inflicting a ton of debuffs. And actually, it's looking like we're in big trouble. Yeah, we do end up falling short once again. We're down to our final life, so it looks like we probably should have took our points and ran. But yeah, we got some nuts items with 2 pairs of gloves. So we'll be back in a second while I sort our inventory out. So hey, I did change all the setup around, so we have it in this position with our gloves of power targeting our Mana Thirst along with our Serpent Staff, and then our gloves being in this situation too. Now with this, we're going to be getting 7 block as well, which is going to add to our Amethyst Steel as well. And it's also going to be enough block for Jin's Lamp to have that armor to proc on our Serpent Staff. Now out of all these options, I'm just going to grab this tiny bit of storage for now. I'm going to roll. And it would be nice to get another Corrupted Crystal for another armor set. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to take that. Now we could grab a Pineapple for some spike stack, and we could also grab a Walrus Tusk. I think, you know what? We're going to grab these. Even though this is going to be a little bit too slow, Walrus Tusk is going to be instant spikes, which is going to be quite nice. I'm going to sell our bag stones to keep rolling for now. And I'm going to sell that stone to, well, we could actually grab ourselves another freaking pair of gloves. However, I'm going to sell this, and you know what? I'm going to grab ourselves a final banana. Which is strange to be getting in this round, to be quite honest, but since we're going to be increasing the speed of our weapons, even though they're going to be low stamina cost, it's going to be nice to have that banana in. But hey, this is going to be a fun setup, and it's looking like we should have took our points around, because we did end up with a ton of lives, and now we're down to 1 life. But hey, I definitely wanted to see how crazy we could make this Serpent Staff with some lamps, and definitely if we had more of these Emerald Whelps, it would be much, much better, because yeah, we're lacking a bit of luck. So unfortunately, I'm going to be selling all these, and I'm going to be taking this fanny pack as well. And yeah, we're going to keep our blueberries in. Because blueberries is going to be one way we can stack luck as well. But yeah, this is going to be it. Are we going to be able to win out? Are we going to fall short? We'll have to see. Also, if we had some strong stones compulsions, we would be in a much, much better spot with our Amethyst Steel. But unfortunately, we didn't really get some stones. Now I'm going to slow this one down. Our opponent is going to be inflicting a lot of frost on us. So that could be super troublesome for us. They're also going to be reflecting some poison on us, which is not so great. But we do have a ton of block. We're going to be dealing a ton of damage. And can we proc our lamps multiple times? With double Amethyst of Energy, we have the potential to do that, and that's big old damage and smashing. Definitely smashing with a 78 DPS Serpent Staff and a 14 DPS Mana Thirst. And with that, we do end up with a 90 DPS, being a Serpent Staff being a 34 DPS actually, but our opponent did inflict a lot of cold, slowing us down by quite a bit. Then our Mana Thirst, Poison, Spike, Sapphire Web's not doing too much, but they did provide a decent bit of block for us. Not a whole lot, but We'll see. We do end up with a 470 block, with 60 block per second. And if Vampiric Armor, our Corrupted Crystals, then our Gloves of Power are actually providing quite a bit of block too. Amethyst Steel actually providing a lot more than our Sapphire Whelps. So our Sapphire Whelps only really triggered twice. But again, that's a lot of gold stacked up, which means our Sapphire Whelps, yeah, triggering every 3.5 seconds. But the fight only did last 8 seconds. And yeah, we managed to proc 3 of our lamps on our Serpent Staff, which turned out to be extremely valuable to us. But hey, we did only survive 1 life left, so we probably should have took our points and ran. But hey, how much rank points did we get? +9 ranks up a decent bit. Not too bad. But anyways, I'm going to leave here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. And I hope to keep looking for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, so we're going to begin another poison stack and builds with a Dead Sign, with a Snake. They're going to be turbo inflicting a lot of poison. They're going to have a ton of block generation with those Corrupted Crystals. So we're going to see who can out-poison who. And this Serpent Staff dealing insane damage, inflicting a crazy amount of poison, and that is 140 DPS Serpent Staff. Okay, so we're going to begin a Ranger with an instant Impractical Large Greatsword, stacking up a lot of power from the get-go, and a lot of max life with these heart containers. But we still managed to pull ahead. Not too bad.